One thing I saw, we don't know a lot because there's no FOIA in Holy Mother Church, which is extremely frustrating. But there is the Holy Spirit, and
all that is hidden will be revealed.
Right, exactly. One thing I saw that was sort of an outgrowth of this that may bear great fruit in the long run is that because they didn't have a whole lot to do once the Vatican put the proposals on ice, Cardinal DiNardo instituted what I sort of have been calling these open mic nights where the bishops could come up and sort of say whatever they wanted about the sexual abuse crisis. And some of them said things that were very specific to the policies, and some of them just sort of said their thing. And there was I've been going to bishops' meetings for a long time, and there was more honesty and candor in that conversation than in any conversation I've seen at an Episcopal conference in ever. And people
but isn't that
agree.
kind of like when Al Gore was running for president and people would be like, oh man, you should hear Al Gore behind the scenes, you know,
yeah, I mean,
he's so charismatic.
I don't think it matters for this.
Right?
It was neat to see some of those guys talk like human beings. And so if one sort of outgrowth of this can be that the conference evolves from its very corporate structure into something which is more synodal, I didn't intend to say that, but more synodal, more fraternal and collaborative, that would be cool. But that's sort of a long-run structural thing that may happen but doesn't relate to what we need right now.
But the human beings thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's actually a nice distillation of a lot of what you see in sort of lay Catholic revulsion, which I agree seems to be at a higher point in certain ways this time than 15 years ago. Like, you know, to me, one of the useful things about this wave of scandal is that I feel like I understand that wave of scandal a little better, in that, you know, the extent to which you had figures as compromised as Cardinal McCarrick, former Cardinal McCarrick, in these positions made the broad behavior of bishops a lot more comprehensible. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's so much, even now, of the episcopal language that is used to discuss these cases and, you know, to sort of talk about these issues, that it's not that it seems un-Catholic, it's that it seems unhuman. Yeah. And I think, you know, like the Vigano letter, right? The Vigano letter is a mess, and it's a mess precisely as you were just saying, in that it collapses the theological civil war and the sex abuse crisis in a way that guaranteed that it would only be sort of positively received by a segment of conservative Catholicism. But one thing you can say for the Vigano letter is that it sounds like a human being. Yeah. You know, like that guy's a human being. And I even, you know, and all of his interventions, you know, every time they come out, part of me is like, oh, not again, you know. But part of me is like, I know this guy. Yeah. And I think for with a lot of the bishops, you read their reactions and how they handle things, and you're like, I don't even know this. Who is this person? Where is the person underneath all that?